Welcome to the Uzima Health and Wellness Podcast.
What did the doctor say?
My question, did you play any sports? Were you the athlete also at Duke?
High school, not the Duke level. So played basketball and ran track in high school. But that's part of the story too, because the funny thing is I remember when I was interviewing for grad school. So typically grad programs will invite you out, and this is for all grad students who are applying to biomedical sciences, and wine and dine you, try to entice you to join their program. I remember being on specific flights and telling people that I was going to schools, and they were saying, "Oh, are you getting recruited to play basketball?" It's like, no, I'm actually looking at grad schools. There are other options for us as Black males in this country, but that's the first thing that always comes to mind. So
I remember watching a medical student who was over 6 feet become very Black male, being very agitated and saying, "Why do they keep asking me if I played basketball?" And he's like, and it's those type of subtleties that people don't describe as racist, but they're stereotypical. They are discouraging along the way. And we have to live that experience while trying to get a degree. And I think that, that is a common conversation that we can all have by the campfire, or let's say if we could drink beer, have a beer summit, we would do that. But that's something that people need to be pointed out. They're like, well, that's not racist. That's a natural question. But do you get asked that question every day because you're over 6 feet and you're in an esteemed, or what we call a privileged white institution? Why am I asked, or it's assumed that I'm here because I offer some type of physicality to this university? And I think that's one of the things that we can subtly kind of agree needs to kind of stop happening. Again, people think it's benign, but we have a cumulative experience of that, even you said in the 8th grade. That's why I asked you, when did you have this turning point? Because young Black males sometimes fall off between 6th and 8th grade. As the data shows, that they are sometimes viewed as other, and then have to tap into these physical attributes, football, track, to get that scholarship to Stanford, to get that scholarship to Michigan or Notre Dame. They're smart, they know they're smart, but they have to tap into that kind of kinetic energy to be recognized.
And for me, it's followed me all the way through, to be completely honest. So even when I was a faculty member, I had summer undergraduates in my lab. They're presenting their research, and people are coming up to me, "Oh, do you have a good summer experience here?" So there's still that, well, you must be a student. You can't be a professor here, because that's just not, that's not what they said, but that's what their words were implying. It just was so outside of their framework that they couldn't even grasp that it's possible this might actually be a professor and not a student.
Hi, Uzima family. If you like what you're seeing and what you're hearing, subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon below to be notified of our recent videos. What the doctor say?